Hello and welcome to the first ever discussion. That's what we've named it. This is Mark from For the Love of Movies. He's dropped the 80s. He's just told me that.
80s are gone, just for the love of movies.
He's having problems hunting down 80s movies. Right, so this is the first time, obviously lockdown. Me and Mark have been friends for a long time. Mark's actually married to my best friend from kid, Alex, the little devil child. And this is Hyra. So we're basically just winging this. Obviously Mark's got his own YouTube channel as well as this one being on Lonely Trees. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme today. See, me and Mark share a lot of common interests. So, and you're a year older or 2 years older than me?
40.
40 years?
I'm 40.
You're 40,
I'm
40 years older than me.
Yo, what, 30 years?
Yeah.
I'm 40.
Two years.
2 years.
40. Now, Mark, even though he hosts a lot of times and even falls down his face, I tell you that I on the new, in the Dracula's town, we go to the concert telescopes and I start like, fucking running down the hill like you and start ripping the piss out.
Making me extra.
So what we're going to do is this is unplanned, and as I say, Mark's feeling a little bit nervous beforehand, but I'm sure he'll come to his own cup of tea here. I was going to offer you a cup of tea, but I've got no milk and no coffee.
I would have coffee, like.
Well, I've
but
got
no milk.
I've got out.
Shut up.
That's what it's on the shopping list. Wasn't planned, but we have a list. So now this happened while I was writing it. I wrote it all nice and neat. Then disaster struck. So Jean-Claude Van Damme, before we look at his IMDb list, to me, 80s. Bloodsport was my first, I think, impression of Van Damme, and I seen it and I was like, this film's meant. It's the ultimate, like, it's a hybrid of Rocky. It's meant to be a true story. There's a lot of conspiracy about it. If it was real or not real. The score's really good. It's a very early Van Damme film because I think a lot of people, to me personally, if you had said to me if I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they went, what came first, Kickboxer or Bloodsport? I would have said Kickboxer.
I would say a Kickboxer, like. But Bloodsport's probably still his best movie, though.
But it's 5 years later. Like it's a long time later. He did it. Nearly 4 or 5 years.
It's not the first one I seen. The first one I seen was No Retreat, No Surrender.
Well, there's another one as well. But for me, it was Bloodsport, so No Retreat, No Surrender. Van Damme playing that villain. But Van Damme's always got
Krasensky.
But again, it was like he made it cool in an era where we didn't have Bruce Lee anymore. Chuck Norris, I wasn't a Chuck Norris fan, even though
I've never seen a Chuck Norris movie apart from the ones he's in. Is it the big? No, it's not the big. Is it the Big Boss with Bruce Lee?
And that he's in that with he's in Expendables 2.
I've never watched like a Chuck Norris movie.
Missing in action or
I've never been interested in him. Like I've seen him in movies that aren't his movies.
He's more of an American thing. I think Van Damme got a bit of clout over here because everyone was just like the muscles from Brussels.
With that said, I think that's why he's so big. He's got the good looks, shredded to a perfect male physique, awesome martial artist.
Well, yeah, he's that. I mean, just flexibility, like the stunts and stuff he could do.
Yeah.
And obviously at the time as well, Schwarzenegger was massive, but it was a massive brute force. And at the time, no one was really doing what Van Damme was doing. But what Van Damme a lot of did was, he wanted it, and as when we talk about his IMDb, sorry, I'm looking at the fucking window. When he did his IMDb, he sort of tried to get himself in a few different productions.
Yeah. And
he tried, like Predator. Obviously, it's common knowledge now
that he was the Predator, right?
But obviously, he was sacked.
Is there any clips of that actually?
There's a couple of clips.
I've never seen a clip of him actually. I've seen a photo of him in the suit,
yeah.
But I've never seen an actual live footage. Like.
I think it was more when they replaced the Predator, and obviously Stan Winston came in and they changed the Predator from what it was meant to be, because in Predators, Rodriguez's movie, the creature that they first encounter is inspired by the original creature.
Yeah.
There was like a little Easter egg there. But that was Van Damme. He was trying to get in there with the right people, but when Van Damme came in, Van Damme was like, let me take this away and let me cut the movie.
Yeah.
And that's why with Bloodsport you get the kick again and again and again, and like it was a sign of the times, especially with the Rockies. If you look at Rocky 4 and you think montage after montage,
brilliantly.
It's not too far away from what Bloodsport is. Bloodsport's got some really good songs, like a Kumite song and that. It's interesting.
Was Bloodsport out before Rocky 4?
I would say, very close.
About close, aye.
Close.
Obviously there'd already been the montages from Rocky 1, Rocky 2 and that anyway.
But again, it was the 80s.
I think Rocky set the tone and people like Van Damme took it on. Like,
Van Damme did it, you know, he's quite a short guy, but like Van Damme was never really a collaborator as well, I don't think.
No.
But we'll get there.
It had to be a Van Damme movie, I think, didn't it?
Well, everyone always talked about it because, again, growing up.
Artwork on the box was just his big face on the box, and then might have a little.
Well, that's it.
Other people
But
in the background.
you talk about being like a big fan of Bloodsport, then you talk about being a fan of Rocky. Dolph Lundgren, Universal Soldier, you know, it's Drago in Van Damme, and you think, fucking hell, like we weren't old enough to watch it, but then the video game was out and all that, and like must seen TV and all that, but he was so iconic. And after, I think the early 90s, he was shit hot. I don't like, he did some big things, but I think near the end of the 90s, I think what Van Damme, you know, he had a deal with Sony after that, and he had this downward spiral, but he became the king of DVD.
Yeah, I was a massive downward spiral. Those ones that went straight to DVD, I haven't watched many of them, to be fair. Like, seen the odd one, but not many. Like,
but he was someone who sort of went, you know what I mean? Steven Seagal followed the same era. It's like people like Stallone, like who has more writing credibility, directing, redefined himself. Because Stallone was on the slippery slope for a while.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Like, don't get
after the like Demolition Man and
Demolition Man's awesome.
And in the Tunnel, Daylight.
That was meant to be
like, there was those few movies, wasn't there? And then
Avenging Angelo.
Avenging Angelo. I bought that on VHS. I was like, oh yes, the new one. I put it on. I was just that's shit.
Like Get Carter. We've got Michael Caine.
I've never seen Get. I've got it on DVD, but I've never watched Get Carter.
Driven. You know, there was loads of like.
I didn't mind Driven, to be fair. You know, I thought it was alright. Like,
but like he did that, and then he came back and he made Rambo. And Rocky Balboa in the same year, like
that Rambo is my favourite action movie of all time. I think it used to be Con Air, but then that fourth instalment of Rambo.
Con Air gets a bit more cheesy every time you read it. Like the score for Con Air is mint. And Nicolas Cage, I'll be
put the bunny back in the box.
like Nicolas Cage, but again, Nicolas Cage went from being someone who had been around since the very early 80s.
Because like he was Moonlight or something. He was
in Moonlight. He was Nick. I
didn't used to like him, and then Con Air, and I was just like.
Well, this was in there. He was obviously originally Nicholas Coppola. Obviously changed.
Related to Adrian as well from Rocky, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah, but he's in loads of stuff that was award winning or potential. And then halfway through the 90s, which we were talking about then, when Van Damme went down, Nicolas Cage becomes your action movie guy.
National Treasure and all that type of stuff. Brilliant.
The Rock, National Treasure, Face Off.
Yeah.
John Travolta has a comeback. Do you know what I mean? John Travolta has his comeback.
Broken Arrow.
When that happened, when we got the Michael Bay era, like Will Smith became a massive action star. When we got that, Van Damme, you know what I mean? He sort of went down a little bit then.
He started getting into the drugs. Like seeing quite a lot, like coming into Street Fighter. You could tell he was not on quite the same game as he was for Bloodsport and Kickboxing.
Well, that's the thing about the list. We'll get to Street Fighter,
but he's never been in Street Fighter.
That's it. There's a lot of, you know, drugs. A lot of things happen on sets and stuff.
Just womanising all that.
That's it. It's again, you think, oh, why the fuck hasn't they made movies? And you think, it might be hard to work with. Look at the guy, I mean, I don't know his name, but look at the guy who played Riggs in the new Lethal Weapon. He did 2 series and they were like, nah, fuck off. Because apparently he was so hard to work with and they replaced him. It can happen, you know what I mean? And like, we'll talk about this because up until recent years, Van Damme wasn't known for sequels as well, so we'll get to that. So if you're a fan of Van Damme, get ready for a rant. So here's the list.
Number 1.
Number 1, Woman in a Twilight Garden.
Fucking dude. So what's that, his first ever one?
That's the first credit, I have no fucking idea.
What is it?
Woman in a Twilight Garden.
It's got to be porn, that thing.
Just fucking creepy.
Woman in the Twilight. I'm going to have to search that.
Number 2 is Breaking, which is famously known. I mean, Breaking and Breaking 2 are well distributed films. And Van Damme's known for like just dancing in the background.
I've never seen them either, don't they?
But that's it, Van Damme does dancing.
Oh,
He's not acting, he's just in the background. Just
like his kickboxer type.
Well, again, he's wearing the half-cut spandex, which it's talk about, which inspired Rob Van Dam as well. He's just giving his dancing going. So that was number 2. Number 3 is a Chuck Norris movie, which is called Missing in Action, which I believe is actually the second movie, the film, but when it got released as the first.
Alright, so what's that one about? I've never seen it.
I've never seen it. I do have it on Big Box VHS. I believe I actually even give it to Theo in Sheffield at the Arrow Video Shop. But yeah, Chuck Norris, I mean, again, Chuck Norris, you either get it or you don't. I don't get it.
It's like a badass in me, but it's just, I don't know, it's just not for me. Like.
Well, that's it. It's like, what's the other guy called? Was he Samo? In the 90s era, the guy who knew all jiu-jitsu and stuff.
I think Chuck Norris was trying to be like Bruce Lee and Clint Eastwood, trying to like match them together, but it doesn't work for me.
But Texas Walker's Ranger ran for years. It's still very popular, still has some demand. But he got in the telly, you know what I mean? He got in the TV. Right, next is Monte Carlo Forever, aka the Gay Karate Man.
Never seen that one either. I've got to say, I've never known anything about that at all.
There's actually a clip on this on YouTube.
Have you seen the clip of it?
He's got a white suit on with his little black belt, riding around in a car, acting very gay. See, in lockdown 1, I watched 50 Van Damme films in a movie in a row. The good, the bad, and the what the fucks, Van Damme. And I was searching this IMDb for... But again, I own them all. There's a couple that have only ever been digitally, but the Gay Karate Man came up then.
The Gay Karate Man.
At number 5, we get No Retreat, No Surrender.
There we go. Class.
Van Damme plays the evil bad guy.
Ivan Krasensky. I used to have the old version on the VHS, which was like a drawing of them two together. The one I gave you ages ago. And I love that one because it had the music, no retreat and no surrender. But then after I give it to you, I bought it again on DVD, and it's just a completely different movie.
It's interesting you said that because No Retreat, No Surrender has just been released in the last 2 weeks on Blu-ray.
Has it?
I only just put it out the other
which
day.
one?
Well, when you said that, Action Jackson, hello Action Jackson, it stopped and I says, "Oh, you're not buying this?" And he went, "No, that's the hasn't got the music like you've just said."
That's the one I love, And I bought this other one. It was just like crap instrumentals during the training. But when I watched the old one, I remember RJ going into the parking lot when he gets into the fight with the guy in the burgers. And I was just thinking, how did Jason just end up meeting him there? But when I watched this other version, it showed that, I'll meet you there like later on. So
cut version.
It was the version I liked, terrible edits. But this other version's got crap music, so I hope they've kind of merged them both together and put...
It's weird because...
You need that No Retreat, No Surrender song when he's training, because it just doesn't work without it.
Well, the thing is, you look at that and you go, right, like best of the best, they released all 4 of them together, or like American Ninja, because there's more than one No Retreat, No Surrender, because it was simply a roof rock that came into it, wasn't she? And then she started...
The second and third one were terrible, like.
But it's, as you said there, Van Damme is not the star of that movie, but the new from cover is just Van Damme.
Kurt McKinney. Kurt McKinney's the star of the movie, and you've got just Van Damme on the front, and you're in for about 15 minutes or something like that.
Well, yeah,
but that's when you see his first iconic kick, when he breaks his dad's leg and then does the jump and spin and that, doesn't he?
Well, even there when he's pausing and he's got doing the splits and that, and he's just there. See, the thing is, this has actually been on the cards for ages because we were going to do a crossover video with Jambo Shango about a year ago, and Mark was going to do the intercuts. So that's honestly, he can actually do the sprints.
Top 5 worst Van Damme movies of all time.
So like I said, Mark says, send us like a countdown. In at number 5. And like he was dancing and all kinds of, he had a fucking tank top on. Like I don't know what's happened to Jambo Shango.
I haven't seen him on for a while.
But again, I was like, is that Mark doing the fucking splits? So we'll probably have to dig that out for the outtakes.
I think they could have done a lot. I think they should have went No Retreat, No Surrender with Bruce Lee, because that's what the story is about, Bruce Lee coming back from the dead. And what I think the route they should have went down, I don't know what route they were thinking, but they could have went like Muhammad Ali. I mean, he wasn't dead back then. Could have got Rocky Marciano coming back from the dead. You could have went down another direction of getting Babe Ruth. I thought that would have been so I think a remake of No Retreat, No Surrender now, of Bruce Lee coming back from the dead. And I think it would be epic if done correctly. Like.
Well, I mean, it's again, it could get it done. There was a lot of stuff. Karate Kid. Karate Kid would have been out at that point. That was popular.
Yeah.
Corey Feldman, he said him there, was in a one called A Dangerous Place, also known as No Surrender. So there was these montages. But like Van Damme,
American Ninja.
He just looked evil, but it was, you're right, it was the kicks. It was like, whoa. Like
his first scene, have you seen him, was breaking the dad's knee, wasn't it? Like,
yeah. But again,
like, whoa.
But again, he wasn't a stunt double. He was actually there, and when you can put the face into a shot,
because he wasn't a proper martial artist, wasn't he? Like proper fighter.
I think he's ballet trainer though, wasn't he?
He's done ballet training, but he I don't know if it was just karate or whatever he done, but he's got like old photos of him like doing like the proper kick in his karate suit and all that type of stuff. Like.
Well, after No Retreat, No Surrender, now this is going off IMDb, and I know IMDb can be a bit wrong sometimes, but now we get the Bloodsport, and fuck me, from what we've just talked about, from Grey Karate Kid, to all that, to like Bloodsport, like what a look, I mean, even like his acting chops, like how he was colourful and smiley and quite camp, I would say, in Bloodsport. In No Retreat, he's very
evil. Really,
again, Bloodsport, it's filmed on location. It, to me, inspired Mortal. It's got a lot to do with inspiring Mortal Kombat. That's for sure. The montages,
but the fight scenes and just how brutal it was. It was Bloodsport where he broke the guy's leg and the bone snapped out the leg, and that wasn't it?
It's fucking horrible. But even shocked, like back in the day. I mean, Linda, Alex's friend, always used to go on about fucking Tom Poe and Kickboxer. And Kickboxer, I didn't have. If you didn't have it on VHS back then, you didn't have it. Do you know what I mean? So if you had Bloodsport on VHS, you're gonna fucking burn the tape out. And I never realised Tom Poe was actually in Bloodsport. He's one of the fighters. You know what I mean? He's got the big mushroom hair. Just the story. I mean, don't get us wrong. Is when he's the kid and he gets the hat cut off the top. It's just like
that kid is the worst actor in the history of acting. Please teach me. Fucking hell.
Like the flashback, then you got Forrest Whitaker like running after him and all that, and like the bit where he's running around Hong Kong, and even
is he cross-eyed and all that? I'm sure his eyes are all like the place.
But like the guy plays Jackson, you know, he even came back for a sequel. But like Bloodsport, that's the top. I mean, if you're going to do top 5 Van Damme films, that would be probably 1 or 2. It would rotate depending on the conversation we'd have.
I think they were his best roles because it was tournament based
and coming off the end of Rocky.
But action is another one we'll get, which should be on later, which I'll see as my favourite action one of Jean-Claude Van Damme. But out of the 2 tournament ones, Kickboxer and Bloodsport, I would say Bloodsport is probably my favourite.
There was
I don't know. Kickboxer is a great movie, isn't it? It's hard to choose from them. Like, it's whether you like brutal. I think Kickboxer's got a better story. I like the training he does with the master and all that type of stuff, you know.
Well, again, though, they're already. I mean, is Kickboxer a remake of Bloodsport? Because again, years ago there was a very weird thing come out called GVC Bloodsport. It was meant to be the story, and Frank Dukes, who's you know, it's a true story, had gone on record and said, you know, there's a lot of debate whether if Bloodsport is as true as that, or how much Van Damme took when they come under articulate license and all that, you know what I mean? But like some of the stuff Van Damme set up in there, the splits, the fucking shot, the helicopter kick.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone, a classic Karate Kid, like karate was that, but when someone's able to jump up and kick you, and even just like...
What's that guy called who's the main...
Boyo,
because he was in like Enter the Dragon and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, and obviously...
So, I mean, he was a big name himself. To go into that movie,
he was as well, and again, that's he's
probably the biggest
established fighter. He's the guy. He's the guy who's going to be like, "You lose." But even Chun Li, I mean, even look at that gift when like he's going, he's fucking terrifying as a kid. But that meme where they're going around where it's like Van Damme screaming with the sun in his eyes and like him hitting the drums, it's fucking hilarious. But again, on the end of the Rocky, this film, like once it did the rounds on VHS. Van Damme was a household name.
Bloodsport just made him like straight away.
Because the next one, which I believe is before Bloodsport, I do believe is Black Eagle.
Black Eagle. I have seen Black Eagle, but don't remember much about it.
Thing is,
I've got Black Eagle. Do you know when Like I bought a DVD player and it came with 20 movies and there's like 4 on a disc and that was one of them. That was
it back in the day, because like when Van Damme hit big, Here Comes Black Eagle, and it was a typical where Van Damme's at the start.
Yeah.
Boom. But there's Van Damme's name across Stockholm. And again, he plays another bad guy, so I believe that this one's more closer to No Retreat, because he hasn't found that charm yet.
Yeah.
And it's one of the very famous movies where Van Damme actually dies because he gets annihilated by the boat propeller.
Yeah.
But there's a mental stunt in it. There's one, because it's
I
weird.
can't remember that. It's been years.
Well,
since
it's some guy who's obviously, don't get us wrong, and someone just went, "You said some guy." He's probably very, very popular. I'm sorry, but he comes back and like he's looking after his kids. He's trying to take his kids on holiday while he's secret agent man. There's a bit where someone jumps off a plane. You think, "Fuck me, what a stunt!"
So is it martial arts, that movie? Is it
espionage, like secret agent,
yeah,
James Bond kind of thing, but. Very, and you can get it on.
Just watched the new James Bond yesterday. It's good.
101 Films.
See,
at the moment, 101 Films and 88 Films are all like Gimme Van Damme. So 101 Films is
still a massive selling base.
He's huge. He is huge. So after Black Eagle, we get Masters of the Universe 2, also known as Cyborg.
Oh, Masters of the Universe. What's that?
You don't know that story?
No, what's that?
Shut up, man. So, Electric Boogaloo, Canon Films. So,
like He-Man?
Like
the Masters of the Universe too?
Yeah. So basically, here's a story. Here's a story. They were going to make... What the fuck else were they going to make? They were going to make another movie. So there's a film called Electric Boogaloo, which shows you the rise and fall of Canon Films. In Van Damme, they put a lot of money into Van Damme or whatever. And they were going to make Masters of the Universe 2, but they couldn't get the money, so Van Damme went, "I'll make a movie." And in some countries it's actually called Masters of the Universe 2, that's why it's got that fallout.
So is he meant to be He-Man?
I fucking hope not.
So what character is he then?
I don't know, read it on IMDb. There you go, it's a fascinating thing. Cyborg.
Who's that orange guy? Is it meant to be him or something?
Who's
in He-Man?
Orange guy?
One of He-Man's friends. It's like...
What, Man of Arms?
No, he's like Cyborg type thing, isn't he?
No, the Cyborg in the Van Damme film's the woman, because she like takes the head off and it goes all fucking...
Masters of the Universe too. I have to look at that.
It's like Mad Max on crack, I think. Cyborg. I always remember like getting it again, like
I probably haven't seen that since renting that out.
Well, it's now available on 88 Films. It's 101. 88 Films have just released, like they do 3,000 copies in roll numbers.
Yeah.
And Cyborg's one of them. I just remember him doing the splits and sort of pushing up at the same time. And going like this to attack somebody down, like because like he always had an iconic moment.
Yeah.
And again, it was, but again, I think it's notoriously known of one of the movies where he went, "Give me it back, let me cut the movie." And it came back. Yes, it had loads of repeats and cuts, but again, I think it's very guerrilla filmmaking. But I think it took a lot of time in the making that one. But yeah, there you go. Now we're a kickboxer.
So Cyborg was before Kickboxer?
Apparently, according to IMDb. I've wrote the list as a kid.
I thought Cyborg would have been after it.
I would have said so because I would give him the clout.
Yeah, that's it. But Kickboxer, absolutely brilliant. Starts off with them in the park and he's doing all this tippy tappy stuff, and his brother's the alpha, like, isn't he?
With Tash.
It's just when he's like, "Don't fight this guy," and his brother goes,
"A fucking brick."
His brother goes, "What's he gonna hit her? Stop doing all this stuff." And I'm just like, he was a bad actor, to be fair. The brother, I thought, like, but it's a brilliant movie.
It is.
But that movie starts when you see him just fucking kicking into that wall. Boom! You just see all the wall shaking and all that. Absolutely brilliant, like.
Yeah, they're fighting, again. Van Damme's tiki-toeing around there, but again, it's Bloodsport formula.
Yeah. But that's the formula he should have stuck with a lot more.
Well, that's it. I mean, Van Damme's acting starts to get a lot better and better. We should have had Matt Davies here for this. Matt Davies is going to be watching this going, "Fucking dick." Because Matt Davies has met Van Damme. Yeah. And Matt Davies was wanting to do, I think I stole this idea from Matt Davies, actually. But again, we talked about the Django Shango thing in ages. But
yeah.
I think in Kickboxer, it's very great, like so much similarity to Bloodsport, but it goes off. You've got the mentorism more, which you have. I
thought that
fucking
was brilliant. Like, the dancing's
it's fucking terrifying.
Fighting, then he's staggering over to the table, taking a shot.
But yeah, it's grim. After that, we get a very similar film to that though. Air War, Lionheart.
pisses me off when it's called Lionheart, because I've always known it is absent without leave, AWOL. And then all of a sudden, just Lionheart came out. It's going to be, what's Lionheart? Like AWOL? I was like, why don't you just call it AWOL then?
Well, AWOL is actually on 101 Films, so again, you'll probably find that a lot.
AWOL's brilliant. That scene when he's in the pool and just like, and the guy flies back into the class. Like,
one of JJ Perry auditioned for that. A lot of stunts and scenes and that, the underground fighting.
Yeah. The parking lot one as well, that fight scene where they've got all the cars around them and all the lights on them.
And it's one where they're all the underground fighting and stuff like that, and the big guys coming in, and he's notoriously known, isn't it, for one where someone pans around and Van Damme's standing on a box. He doesn't look too fucking small. And he's on the run from the Foreign Legion, isn't he?
Yeah.
Because obviously he's paying the money for his but again he's still
that's where it starts out, that, doesn't he? Escapes.
Again, a very similar story to Bloodsport. He's fucked off from the army.
He meets that guy, and the guy takes him into the underground fighting. Because he's like the comedy aspect of it.
I think he's been quite a lot. I think, it's going to bug us now about our phones, but I'm sure he's in quite a lot of movies as well. But we'll get there.
Who was the woman? It wasn't. She looked like a bit like Bridget Nielsen, but it wasn't Bridget Nielsen, was it?
No. Do you know Bridget Nielsen has been out with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone? She was married to Sylvester Stallone.
They're best friends now.
After AWOL, or Absent Without Leave, or Lionheart, again, I think when you it's on. I was going to say Black Eagle's actually on 101 Films as well. So we've got a film I actually watched last night. They Killed My Partner. Because I knew we were doing this today, I actually picked a Van Damme film to watch last night, Death Warrant.
Death Warrant.
Every big action star has to have a film in prison. Stallone did it.
That's the Sandman, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't kill me, bird. It's fucking honestly, right? It's fucking brutal.
Brilliant.
Like, there's so many famous people in it.
Yeah.
In small bits and roles. And it's the whole, like, Van Damme's going to prison.
I always get them two sounding mixed up, like that and Lock Up, like in my head. It's like, who's in which one?
Yeah. But it's great to you can't kill me.
That's why I was like, is that Sandman or was Stallone Sandman?
But when you see Sandman in like, he's in loads of stuff. I think he's in The Rock. I think he's in, he's in X-Files and all that. He's dead small, but in there he's just like, but at the start of the movie it's like, right, make this film longer, just film the drain and put all the credits. And it's Van Damme like, he killed my partner. And he's hiding in the cupboard. Like, peekaboo. But like the guy,
you know what else since I've seen that one as well. To be fair,
it's good. It's grim. I think I've seen that at a very early age. Again, close to Bloodsport.
Yeah. I used to watch them. My dad used to rent them all out. Because my dad was big into his action movies, so he used to rent out all the new Van Damme that came out.
Yeah.
Would watch them all like at a young age as well. Like.
But it's one where Ali Young's in it. Ali Young. For years I didn't know who Ali Young was. And he's just he's from Die Hard and Big Trouble in China. Bald guy, half bald guy with long hair.
So is that out on Blu-ray or not?
Yes,
I might have to have a look for that.
It's in a box set because I've got the box set upstairs with I think Black Eagle and it's not Cyborg.
I love prison movies. Like prison movies are brilliant.
There's another one. We'll get there, but it's
what do you think's the best? That or Lock Up?
Oh, Death Warrant. I mean, Death Warrant because the bit where he kills the fucking preacher guy with the axe, and he jumps out of nowhere, stabs him with the axe, uppercuts him. And Van Damme's like, don't worry, he runs away and he's meant to be dead, but the actor's still breathing on the floor. And then it turns into a big fucking, all the prisons fighting for him at the end. They'll kill me, bird.
But his acting was starting to improve by this stage, I think.
Sex pesting as well, because he obviously pests the lass as well.
Yeah.
After Death Warrant, we get Double Van Damme, another thing.
Double Impact.
Yeah. And this is going to be a common thing, this. Because everyone seems to do it. I think Jet Li's done it, Jackie Chan's done it.
Yeah.
When they do the double acting thing. Double Impact was huge because
so you've got one with his normal hair, then you've got the old Ivan Krasinski.
I think he's called Alex. He's slit the back. There's only a couple of. I mean, again, it's Hong Kong based.
Yeah.
And the trainer from Kickboxer's in it. He's got a kind
of. Is he as well?
Yeah. He it's again Van Damme has a lot of connections going forward in Hong Kong. Going back to Bloodsport.
Yeah.
It feels like an Australian Bloodsport. Again, the whole story. Boyo Young.
He's in it as well.
He's the baddie because he gets shot through the glass and he's got a scarred face.
Since I've seen it.
Again, sometimes there's a few things where they've got them in scene, but it's a craft again before CGI. Again, it's the whole two babies get back together. It's like the Secret of the Stone with He-Man and She-Ra story in it. It's the same kind of. and it doesn't have much. I can't remember the ending. It gets all like more. As you say, this is one where it leans towards more the action.
Yeah.
Because Chad is one of them. Who's the flexible sex pest. Good boy. Alex, he's more the gun guy.
You watched this one just last night?
No, I watched Death Warrant.
Death Warrant, I did prison one.
You can't kill me, bird. But again, you see it advertised everywhere, and again, it's hard to come by. So Double Impact is one that's just disappeared. It's discontinued, hasn't seen the light of day. But this is kind of stuff that 88 films will probably get, because 101's kind of slowed down. I said kind of.
They need to get all these, like the big Van Damme movies, and release them all, like, definitely.
Well, yeah. Next one is probably the biggest one he did in the 90s, in my opinion, because this fucker was everywhere, especially when you went to the pictures of that era. Nowhere to Run.
Aye, brilliant.
And this is the one where, you know, this is a big produced movie. This is where...
Is this the one where he was on the farm?
Yeah.
Aye, and then loads of people had come to try and kill this family or something.
Yeah, well, no, it's... I mean,
it's a bit where he like bursts out the barn or something.
He's hiding.
Aye.
He's hiding in the woods because he's escaped prison, and he looks after a family who's pretty much getting moved out.
Aye.
And it's quite a big. I mean, it's Buffalo Bill. He's the guy after them. It's more their drama. Again, you're watching it though, and it's not your action. He's fighting here.
There's a lot of it just on that farm bit.
Yeah, he gets beat down a lot, but it's more like he hasn't got a trademark kicking it. I think there's a few kicks in that, but it's more like, oh, I'm a sweetheart as well.
Yeah.
But again, it was everywhere. Again, released on 88 films. Very common from cover, fixes the bike up kind of stuff.
Aye.
It gets confused a lot with...
So it's just her and the kid in there?
It's one of the Culkins. It's Rory Culkin, Macaulay Culkin.
Is that the kid that plays it, is it?
Yeah, it's him and that. Got one, and there's like...
He pops up in a few little movies, that Rory Culkin. Like.
Yeah, there's loads. But yeah, I believe Universal Soldier was before Nowhere to Run, like, but again, on fucking IMDb. Universal Soldier, huge movie.
Definitely. Brutal as well. Dolph Lundgren with his ears necklace.
Roland Emmerich.
Aye.
You know what I mean? When I do Independence Day and all that.
It's just that scene where they're all coming down the dam. Like abseiling down and all, it's excellent. Like,
who are these guys? And they're running.
That must have been the biggest budget for him to be spent on him.
Well, Roland Emmerich has done a lot of stuff, but like since then he was always known as the make it bigger, make it better. There's a lot of famous people in this in small roles. The idea, I mean, starts off in Vietnam. Tommy Tiny Lister's in it.
Cuts off all the ears, man.
Cuts off all the ears.
It's crazy.
But we get, again, by this point, Lundgren's He-Man as well as Drago.
Aye.
And then you get the first clash. But this is one of the only times Van Damme did this.
Yeah.
It wasn't like in the 90s they were starting to chuck all the action stars together.
Yeah.
Like Stallone versus Snipes and Demolition Man. This was like, alright, the pit again, but then Van Damme didn't follow through. But like, it's a great film. I mean, I think the Dolph Lundgren leaps and boundaries by this point.
Yeah. Because
Stallone often went, haven't given any lines, have you? Do you know what I mean? But in this, he was just like, medic! Like pulling them through the supermarket and all that, and the fucking blood everywhere. I think he just totally owned it. Like, but the whole fact that
Lundgren stole the show on that. Definitely stole the show in the movie.
But it's a whole thing of like, Van Damme's just got to get his butt out and walk around. I need to cool down. But it just kind of, it had a lot of comedy, especially when he starts eating the food. He doesn't know what food is.
Yeah.
Again, Van Damme acting like he's like newborn, well, fucking Scott, I think he's called Scott Lundgren, and it's fucking gone nuts. But it's not the first time we'll talk about that. There's a very interesting thing about that film as well, but we'll get there in a bit.
So was that pre-Terminator?
Well, the first Terminator,
Terminator 2. So that could have been a bit of a copy from
Terminator,
that kind of thing.
Yeah. I'm not sure where the original story comes from. I mean, the idea of bringing people back from the dead and all that, and put them in, like, I mean, the families should know that.
Yeah.
After that, we've got a brief cameo in Last Action Hero.
But there's Schwarzenegger. Oh, yeah.
Dan Percy follows us on there. It was just a fucking Van Damme wasn't in Last Action Hero. I said, bet the fuck it was. I've just watched the fucking movie. There's loads of fucking cameos in that.
Aye.
Robert Patrick, Danny DeVito.
I like the Sly Stallone when he's Terminator.
Aye.
In the
picture.
That's his greatest ever role.
You know, there's so many icons. Sharon Stone's I've had to sit around. Right after that, we've got a film that often gets confused with Nowhere to Run, Hard Target. Because it's orange cover.
That's the one where
he's got a mullet.
the hunting homeless people down this fucking sport, aren't they?
It's fucking brutal. John Woo.
So he's dressed up in the woods or something, like running away from these guys.
So John Woo comes over. I think there's a lot of like get John Woo to America. Guy who directed Hard Boiled. John Woo went. He did a few films after that. Van Damme's got a fucking mullet, double denim. New Orleans score. Lance Henriksen and Arnold Vosloo are the antagonists on it. I think were great. The idea that they just hunt homeless people
people for cash is class.
So make the mistake of hunting Van Damme. There's a bit at the start of that movie where he's kicking the fuck out of people.
So is he like ex-military or something?
Oh, I don't know. He's been a sports sailor or something, isn't he? There's some French heritage because Wilfred's in it from The Thing. It's his uncle who lives on the fucking farm. But there's a bit where, I mean, don't get us wrong, it's ludicrous when Van Damme punches the fucking rattlesnake. But there's a bit where.
Oh no, man, he's helping some woman trying to find
because it fell
trying to find her dad who's homeless, and then he finds out that he's being hunted down in the sport. It's really
there's
it's
some
good.
real like style to that because it's John Woo, and obviously John Woo would go on and do Broken Arrow face off. But there's a bit where he kicks somebody and they fucking fall right into the camera and hit the face off the parking meter. As a kid, you're like, "Fuck me! Did you see that?" So you wind that. But then there's like. You know, it's kind of brutal, and but like the fighting scenes, the fight in the barn at the end with Lance Henriksen, when Van Damme grabs the fucking thing, and you see his fucking muscles, but like he's doing front kicks, he's doing that, but there's again.
It's when he was peaked to perfection though this year, wasn't it?
I mean, hard target's been out a few times and recutting that, but the bit where he's going up the road and jumps on the water like that, right? And got the gun and shooting, and then jumps over the car. You're like, fuck right off. Like, come on. But have you seen the sequel?
No, I didn't know there was.
Well,
Who's in that?
Scott Adkins is in it, and it's also filmed in Asia. And the guy who plays Teabag from Prison Break's in it.
He should be a lot bigger, Scott Adkins, than what he is. I mean, from what he
should
can do.
Yeah.
Like he should be as big as what Van Damme has ever been.
I mean, he is. He just doesn't.
He's a better actor.
Oh, he just doesn't stop working. But it's a complete copy of the first movie.
Is it? Just I haven't seen it. I'm gonna have to watch it.
It might as well just be called Hard Target 2. A Hard Target.
Just a remake.
Yeah, just a remake. Just that. So after the rant of Hard Target, I remember going to the pictures and just seeing Van Damme staring at you, fucking big head, still rocking a mullet. Time Cop.
I love Time Cop. Like it's one that's one of his best movies. Martial arts sci-fi.
It's ludicrous.
Is it? Is it not as good now? Is it not?
No, it is wrong, right? It's like Van Damme, top guy in it, right? I remember. I mean, the whole jumping up and doing the splits before he gets electrocuted. It's the fact that they make this big fucking deal of getting in the shuttle.
Yeah.
Like, what, you don't swallow your tongue, and they're all fucking spacing around, and they just appear out of a blimp. Into thin air, in the water, and you get round about. Where does the fucking rocket ship go? Because they come back in the rocket ship. Do you know what I mean? He gets his chewing gum back.
I've never even thought about that. Like,
well, again, though, here comes more than one Van Damme. There's another Van Damme. But politics.
He goes back in the time to when he's with his family, doesn't he? Before his family gets killed.
Yeah, the idea. I mean, she's not been in loads, but she was in. She's called Mila Fowler or something. He was in. Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Legend.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. They've got quite a good name for it, but she had sort of demised a little bit.
Yeah.
Roy Silver, I think, is the bad guy. There's some pretty cool bits in, especially when the guy gets his arm frozen, gets kicked off, and then the cop turns. But it's just the whole ludicrous thing, like jumping into fucking wormholes and shit. But at the time, it was like, I mean,
when it first came out, it was top of the range. FX one, it was like
massive.
Oh, brilliant.
It was massive at the time. I mean, there was a sequel, Jason Scott Lee, I've never seen, but again, Van Damme at this point didn't do sequels. But it's still like quite a big movie on that. The bit where the guy nicks the woman's bag and Van Damme's like, and he's just like, I can't get my foot up. He's like that. And like the guy stops on rollerblades and he's going, what's that say? Wolverine? He's going, read between the lines. I should get the fuck out of here. And it's just like, come on. But yeah, Time Cop. Right, so at this point I would say Van Damme is at the peak. That much peak, Van Damme turns down Mortal Kombat and says he's going to play Guile in Street Fighter and have ginger hair.
Now, he should never have been cast as Guile. Guile's an all-American badass, isn't he? With an American tattoo. The American flag tattooed on his arm.
With massive blonde hair.
Aye, that's it, aye.
Let's just talk about
that was the worst movie.
I went to see...
He's been in it for me.
No, he's such the worst.
It's not like... Because what Street Fighter is, this was their chance to bring back the glory days of Bloodsport and Kickboxer into characters with Street Fighter.
No, that's why he should have did Mortal Kombat. He should have been...
but that's what Street Fighter should have been. It's exactly the same as Mortal Kombat. But with their characters, Blanca... Ryu, Ken.
Man, Blanca, man, sitting there and just comes out with like, what the
terrible.
The
only person who tried was M. Bison, wasn't it? Because he told it, like, his kids wanted him to do the movie.
Well, he had been huge, and obviously he'd been Gomez Adams. Rule.
Can't even know what was she doing.
Rule I, but he died just before. He never got to see the movie.
Yeah.
He was great as Bison flipping out, but then you had Kylie Minogue as Cammy.
Ridiculous.
The guy who plays...
Whoever done the casting for Street Fighter should never work in show business again.
Chun-Li, she was great. She looked young. But then the guy who plays E. Honda is a Samoan. I'm sure, yeah.
Ryan and Ken were just like a comedy duo in it, weren't they? They weren't badass like they should have been.
I think the only other film I've seen Ken in is Under Siege.
Just it was a terrible...
Sagat's this big fucking big in there now. He's just this like tiny guy. Vega looked on, but I was just.
So did he turn down Mortal Kombat? Did he do that
for that?
And who was he meant to be in Mortal Kombat?
Johnny Cage.
See, Johnny Cage suits him down to the ground.
At the time, Van Damme's not going to be an ensemble cast, is he?
No. But the Street Fighter was ridiculous.
But then you look at Mortal Kombat.
I remember watching that, and I was just like, what? What was that?
But you look at Mortal Kombat and you go, why is Christian Lambert raiding? Do you know what I mean? It's like, come on!
But the rest of the casting was good for Mortal Kombat, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. But Street Fighter is on 88 films. It's another one that's being... Because for a while Street Fighter was only available on...
Don't get it. Do not buy Street Fighter.
So after Street Fighter...
Save your money.
It's starting. We've got Zigzag. No idea.
Not a clue.
Then we've got Sudden Death. Here comes Van Damme's. You know how we're talking about every big action star has to have a prison film? Every action star has to have a Die Hard rip-off.
Yeah.
Because that's what Sudden Death is.
And I'm saying, I was saying before?
He drop kicks a penguin.
This is one of my favourite Van Damme movies, action movies, that isn't like tournament based.
Same director as
in the ice, all in the ice skating rink and stuff. I thought it was brilliant. Like the end shot where the helicopter's coming through into the...
Die Hard.
I thought, basically, but I thought it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Like.
Drop kicks a penguin. I mean, literally, just fucking penguin gets it.
When he goes in goal and he becomes the hero.
Oh God! The why is that in your top fucking? That was Booth as well.
Aye, I thought it was good. Like
no, it's the same director as Time Cop.
Aye,
but
he's doing all his martial arts and his skis and stuff. Good.
Yeah,
like.
this is where. But this is about the time he signed the deal with Sony, because the next one after that, where he was in Friends.
I seen him in Friends. Aye.
And then he was in Jean-Claude Van Damme directed The Quest. Now that is a fucking rip-off of Bloodsport.
Aye. I've seen The Quest, but I can't think of what it is. You're going to have to remind us.
He starts off as a clown. He's running around looking after all the orphans.
Yeah.
And then James Bond himself, Roger Moore, is just like, let's trade him. And he gets on this boat.
He's called the French Foreign Legion or something.
No, he gets trained by all the people on the island. And then... Again, it's Bloodsport on an island. It's very...
I think I know. I remember the clown. I remember him being dressed as a clown with orphans. He's got all the orphans out pinching and stuff, hasn't he?
There's loads of big flips and kicks and stuff like that. And again, this is directed by Van Damme. This has also been released by 101 Films. So this is one where 101 Films are bringing stuff out. Then 88 gets his films, and now it's back to 101. I mean, again, it's all been shot around... Hong Kong and all that. It's got that look.
So was that out at the cinema or not?
Yeah, I think that was one of his. He was sort of tiptoeing around.
That's when he was coming on the downward spiral.
Because after that, we've got Maximum Risk.
I can't remember that at all.
Well, there's two Van Dammes again. So there's two.
I don't think I've seen it.
But this going to be a sequel to Double Impact.
Yeah.
So, but one brother gets killed at the start.
Right.
So he's on this little moped. And Natasha Hensky, Species Woman.
Right.
So she was his girlfriend, but then Van Damme goes, oh, I didn't have a brother, so he comes to France.
So what year was this?
This is, we're talking, what, 96, 97? Front cover, famously known for Van Damme like that, holding the gun over a car pointing.
I don't think I've seen that. Maximum Risk.
Yeah. Pretty much,
No good,
shout about.
No.
Very vague, probably a bit rated because it's an 18 rated. I think I've got a sample edition on VHS, the old sample written on.
I'll have to have a look. Like.
But yeah, that was good. Again, she was shit up because of Species, it goes to Mars.
Yeah.
After that, we've got Double Team.
Dennis Rodman.
And don't worry, we're going to jump out of an aeroplane and get saved by the flame.
See, so that's went down, but that's peaked back up, I think, there.
Well, again,
because I still remember going to Chopper and renting that out from the video shop.
Again,
I enjoyed it as well.
It was fucking massive because Dennis Rodman was huge. Every scene, Dennis Rodman's got a different hair. Dennis Rodman in that movie inspired Triple X, in my opinion, because it's got that European look. Mickey Rooney.
It was a bit more gritty than I thought. Like
it was, but the whole idea that they're on the island and all that kind of thing, and he's doing his training and his big conspiracy, and then saved by a Pepsi machine, but.
Dennis Rodman wasn't the best in it, like, to be fair, but it still was a good movie.
Sign of the times, but again, this is the one where it kind of went, no, you got to go to DVD, because the next one was Knockoff.
Knockoff.
Yeah. So Knockoff is all filmed in Hong Kong with Roy Schreiner. This might be the one actually when he's made from Kickboxers in it, but it's all about selling knockoffs and stuff like that.
So there's no fighting.
Oh no, there's some big action scenes, but it's more Hong Kong style.
Right.
So there's loads of fucking. There's a massive bit where he's stuck on top of a bus. There's a bit where when you give someone a lift. Van Damme's running, and then this fucking race and Roy Schneider's in the background. Like, go there, go there. So those are fucking daft shit.
It's like Jackie Chan kind of.
Honest to God, right? There is like the guy who plays the bad guy is the guy who's like the Godfather in Goodfellas. And the Big Buddha on the Hill in Hong Kong, which I've been to. And this is the only film I've ever seen it in. And there's this big green explosion at the end, and it's like. What the fuck, man? It's fucking terrible like this. So is it worth watching? Oh mate, if you want me to dig all these out, I own them all. But yeah, the front cover is just Van Damme.
So it's a close-up of his head, isn't it?
After that, he tries a bit more. Now Knockoff and the next one have both been released on 88 films. Legionnaire.
That's the French foreign legion, isn't it?
And again, this could be a prequel to AWOL.
Yeah.
It's more of his action chops in this, and like when I watched this back, I enjoyed it. I can't tell you much about it because it's a typical like
just his normal Van Damme type of movie, isn't it? To be fair.
Except for that, he's in the desert.
He's wearing the white cap with a thing coming off the back and stuff.
It's not a bad.
I thought it was good. Like
it's not memorable enough. You know.
See, I was getting that and The Quest mixed up in my head. Because it must have came out around near the same time.
Well, it would have, yeah, because The Question's quite close.
Yeah.
After this, he gets a little bit of resurgence because I went to see this next film at the Pictures, and this is where it gets weird and complicated. Universal Soldier, The Return.
Never watched it.
It's not 2.
No.
It's not 3, because there was a Universal Soldier 2 and 3.
So it's like 4, like is it a 4 or is it a new 2?
Well, this is where it is. So the second 2 movies.
I've seen that.
The second 2 movies are TV movies. Gary Busey's in it, so they weren't like joking around. But when they brought this one out, it was The Return. Now, what's very interesting about this, I went to see this Pictures and I thought this can be fucking mint. This has been released by 88 Films as well. Goldberg, shit hot at the time.
I think I might have seen this, you know.
Well, Goldberg's Romeo around. It's very Canadian.
But Van Damme's not like wrote like a thing anymore. It's like no.
Van Damme's alive and has a kid.
Yeah, he's definitely dead in the first one.
He's definitely dead in the first one. So basically, a dead guy has been able to give birth to a girl. Okay. Again, though, it's that resurgence. This is Van Damme doing a sequel because Van Damme. There was about 3 or 4 kickboxers. There was about 3 or 4 Bloodsports. None of them had Van Damme in. He wasn't known for doing sequels. And one of the interesting thing about this, I mean, Goldberg at the time was massive, but Goldberg was off injured because he'd decided he was going to punch a fucking window and break his hand or whatever he did in real life. Michael Jar White, who is a physical specimen who doesn't get enough love.
Never back down, any.
Yeah, standing there, ripped the fuck. Michael Jar White was in the original Universal Soldier, right?
Alright.
In the Vietnam scene. And he essentially gets killed.
The thing with him is he doesn't look like a martial artist till he starts doing martial arts. Because he's like this big, isn't he? And then he starts doing all this stuff and you're like, how can you do
watching
that?
him fight Scott Atkins in the Undisputed series, fucking amazing. And there's a bit in have you seen Blood and Bone?
Yeah.
He runs up and kicks 4 people in the face. But like Michael Jar White got cast in the movie as Seth, right? And it's the fucking evil robot. And he came up to Van Damme and he's just like, really enjoying this. And he's like, I was in the original Universal Soldier. And Van Damme was like, were you? He's like, yeah, I didn't want to say anything in case I got sacked. And Van Damme went, well, that makes perfect sense. That the super body that's been in cryospace that the computer's trying to get into is somebody from the original movie. I'm like, I fucking let him go. It's fucking brilliant. But again, it's just like, he was physically ripped.
Yeah.
But Michael Jar White, he played Tyson in the movie. He's randomly...
I think that was the first movie I seen him in when he played Tyson. Right?
It's like when you see him in... Well, he was Spawn. But when you see him in The Dark Knight and the Joker kills him and you think, hang on, what happened there?
Yeah.
Because one minute he's got the knife there, next thing you know he's like, what, did they cut someone harsh out there? But no,
when you seen his martial art greatness, I thought was Never Back Down, and it wasn't a good movie, but Never Back Down, the second one. When he's training them lads, and he's just like, whoa.
But again, he got his foot in the door of action movies. He's actually in Welcome to Sudden Death, which is the sequel to Sudden Death. But yeah, but again, Universal Soldier: The Return. I took a girl on a date to that, and she was like. But again, it's just a.
Coming to the pictures again. No?
New metal. I think the other film I went to see that year where it wasn't going well with this was Jason X. Right after Universal Soldier: The Return, we get the Replicant. Fuck my life. Replicant has also been released by 88 Films, so here's the story.
Never seen it.
I thought, yeah, and that's why I'm getting it. I've got a little big box VHS. Van Damme is a serial killer.
The bad guy?
He's a bad guy, right? Got long hair, he's called the Torch. Likes to kidnap girls and set them on fire.
No.
Mickey Rourke, the other guy from Cliffhanger, is obsessed with tracking them down. So what do? To find them? Have a guess.
I have no idea.
They clone Van Damme. So Mickey Rooney has got a human child version of Van Damme.
So the only way to find a serial killer is to clone the serial killer.
So Van Damme does his whole blind action in Bloodsport, going around going, he was here. Self-ejaculates in his pants when he sees a woman for the first time. But can learn to fight. So it's another film where there's 2 Van Dammes.
Is it good then? I think Van Damme could have been better at playing bad guys and good guys. Then.
Again, look at Expendables 2.
That's what I mean.
Fucking mint in Expendables 2, but we'll get there with
and
that.
Even
right?
I think No Retreat, No Surrender should have been a basis of him being a badass bad guy.
But again, this is him where these movies are getting greenlit and financed, because when we did the tournament, we approached Van Damme.
What did he say? Just
it wasn't too much money. But again, when the tournament stopped starting, I don't even know who Van Damme was originally meant to play, but we were still trying to get him, because once it doesn't come down, it comes down to money, but it also comes down to schedule.
Yeah.
So if you say to an actor, come here, we'll pay you your per diem, we'll pay you this much money, all you have to be is here.
Yeah.
They all they start making lists, and it's not this money you're going to pay them, and you end up in these. This is why you get all these action movies, because you can get them in. People ping pong babies work 3 months of the year.
Yeah.
And they're bit rules, and that's what Van Damme started to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the Replicant.
This is watch that.
He's going down, because the next one is, I've got this upstairs with 1999 on, sticker from Asda, The Order.
Never even heard of it.
Front cover, Van Damme like that. These films, when we go back and we look at
these are the ones that I wouldn't have seen, just the straight to DVD ones.
But the thing is, this is interesting, because
got low budget in that.
Double Team, Knock Off, Legionnaire, Universal Soldier, The Replicant, and The Order. These would, when DVD just come out. This is early days of DVD.
So you're talking, I would say, a Legionnaire, and then it's just a massive drop from Legionnaire.
But the thing is, if you, at this time, when DVD became a household thing, right, Van Damme film doesn't go to the pictures, you walk into a video shop, you've just bought yourself a DVD player.
Yeah.
Right, he's always, like again, they're bringing out all the old movies, which it's not too long from VHS.
Aye.
So there is that thing of ours, an upgrade, but then you look at all these new movies, oh, Van Damme's got a new movie, and it's only on DVD. And again, these films, but this one's where it's all Russian things, and there's a fight in the fucking, I don't know if this is the fight with his twins.
Any good?
The fight in a bathhouse, and there's a few towel whippings going on. No, it's not. It's not as bad as the next one.
What's the next one then?
Right, I tell you what, right, in all seriousness, this next one inspired It's Just a Podcast. This is the first film I ever did a podcast on my own.
Ah, really?
I watched it. It'd been on my shelf to watch for ages. I watched it and I could not believe what I'd watched, so I had to get up and watch it. It's called Derailed.
Never seen it.
Van Damme on the Running Train.
I remember your podcast. I think I've watched part of your podcast, and then I was just like, what?
There is a bit where he's on a motorbike on top of the
I think
train.
I downloaded it as like an MP3 on my phone when I went out for a walk, and I was listening to it, and I was like, fucking hell.
Grim.
Bad.
I mean, this is one of the films where his son Chris is in it, because Chris Van Damme's in loads of films.
Yeah.
But no, there's a bit where there's a motorbike on top of the train and he jumps off and drop kicks somebody, and I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? It's so bad. It's so cheesy.
He's good at martial arts, so his son as well, isn't he?
He's quite funny as
but
well.
But he's not as ripped. He hasn't got the look of an action star, but he is quite good at the martial arts, I think.
Aye, so yeah, Derailed, avoid at all costs. The next one might as well be called Death Warrant 2. It is in fact In Hell, which has also been released on...
I used to have In Hell on VHS. I liked In Hell. It wasn't too bad.
There's a couple of people who worked on the tournament in that.
Aye.
I tell you one thing what got me. There's a couple of the actors from Death Warrant in it, but this is again, it's all about fighting in prison and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is it, what's he called? The American football player in it? Lawrence Taylor's in it. LT.
Right.
The fucking guy who fights Bam
I don't
Bam
know much
Bigelow.
about American football.
I only know who he is because he fought Bam Bam Bigelow at WrestleMania.
Really?
Who's that? He's
no clue, though. I couldn't name you one American footballer. Like.
Again, Van Damme's back in prison. Again, these are the ones.
I think that's why I liked it, because it was another prison movie. Because I like the prison movies. Like.
We're halfway there.
Fucking hell.
Next up, Las Vegas. No idea.
Clueless.
Next up, Narco. No idea. No, seriously, I have no idea what these are.
No, I know.
There's a few better ones that are coming. Next up, Wake of Death. Right, I can't remember it. I've seen that many films in this Van Damme marathon. I've got it.
So these must be the early 2000s coming out now, by the way. I don't think I've seen any of these early 2000s.
The only thing I've got interesting to say about this film is all this 88 films and 101 films that keep getting released. This actually got a director's cut released on its own, but like not with them, a different label. So again, someone's went, oh, get this. It's got
see, all of these early 2000s movies should be put in a box set. It's sold for about a $5 or something like that. You can get a Van
Damme box set because you remember you hunt for DVDs a lot.
Yeah.
Fight Factory, when they got that orange box.
Yeah.
Snipes has got a few. Van Damme's got a few. After that, we've got Second in Command.
No clue.
Van Damme on the front cover wearing a suit. Again, Fight Factory. I think they get all stuck inside the an embassy and all that, and like it's a bit under siege. I think it's more Assault on Prison 13 kind of thing. After that, High School. Never seen it.
High School Musical.
Heist
School.
After that, we've got Hard Corpse. He's got a mullet again.
So have you watched all of these movies?
I can't work. I can't. But I know Vanessa Fox is in this one, right? But I couldn't tell you the storyline between this and Wake of Death. But I remember this one's in 18 though, so it's kind of edgy. After that though, we've got Until Death.
No clue either.
I can't remember that either.
No.
I've got it. After that though, we've got The Shepherd. You know what's interesting about The Shepherd?
What's that?
They made it just before we made the tournament.
Did they? Is that the one he chose instead of the tournament?
Possibly. But the thing is, a lot of the locations we use in the tournament, it was in Bulgaria, where we make it look like the northeast of England, they use the same locations to make it look like Mexico. So Van Damme comes to town. How he's got a goat, how he's got a hamster or a rabbit biting a carrot. And it's all about stopping. It's a bit like The Last Stand, like Don't Cross It.
Yeah.
Good action scenes. JJ Perry has a cameo, but this is the first time he works with Scott Adkins. So Scott Adkins plays his henchman in it. Oh, Scott Adkins plays the henchman of the men, and the guy who plays the main guy is very sinister, all about smuggling and all these things. There's a bit where Scott Adkins jumps up like that and then kicks him with that foot. And there's a bit where one guy's just been told, right, stand there, he's going to kick you in the chest, and you can see him just take a pound. But I know a lot of them came from that. It's not a bad movie.
So Scott Adkins was in that as well,
Yeah.
but then he was obviously in the tournament.
Yeah.
So what's the next movie on the list?
Well, the thing is, JJ Perry did a lot of the stunts on the show, so we had JJ on there.
Right.
So that's
So
how that happened.
maybe I wonder why he just didn't switch Jean-Claude as well. Like,
Coin man, coin. Well, at the time after that, Van Damme was doing JVC.
Is that his where it's following him around in his own like Big Brother type
And get stuck in the
thing?
background. So well advertised everywhere. So Van Damme's best movie. But you know what it was going on about? All this. No one said it was in a foreign language.
So which is the one? Is it in a foreign language? Is it?
No, most of the time.
So which is the one I've seen? Which is like a documentary?
No, that's it. It's following around. Hey, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
He's like in the gym and stuff, training and all that type of stuff. Then he goes to the nightclub every night.
Oh, I don't think it's that one. No.
I wonder which one I've seen then.
Well, the thing is with this, though, there's a scene where he does a speech, and he does it in his natural language, right? It's fucking class. He's crying and all kinds of shit. But it's not an action.
It's where he's from Belgium, isn't he?
But yeah, that was JVC. And then we've got Universal Soldier Regeneration.
Never seen that either.
Right, so here we go, right? Here comes Van Damme, cashing in now. Van Damme in The Return has a kid, happy, goes off to the sunset.
I think I've seen The Return, but I definitely haven't seen Regeneration.
Well, Regeneration, Van Damme's back.
As the like psycho robot.
Yeah, doesn't know what's going
Frozen
on.
thing,
Dolph Lundgren's also back.
Is he?
And Dolph Lundgren spends the whole film going, I've got something to tell you.
Did he have nothing to tell me?
And there's another soldier called, who's the Pitbull, who's a UFC fighter. And it's all filmed in like Middle East, Europe.
So does Dolph Lundgren go nuts again?
Lundgren's not in it much, and this film came out early Blu-rays, so like this was a very, very bought and sold movie because of the Blu-ray factor. It's fucking brutal.
Is it?
It's fucking like there's bits where like Van Damme like really just tricks fucking very physical movie. The director's got that look.
Because what made the original Universal Soldier good was Dolph Lundgren being nuts.
He's like, the thing is, he's hardly in it. Van Damme is not the same character from the second one, so if you were watching them in any kind of fucking order, remembering that there's a 2 and 3, you just fucking lost. It's got.
So what is he like? Just a different film, like.
It's almost like a different.
Is it a remake with him doing something?
There's a bit where Van Damme's running like this for ages, right? And that fucking Russian guy just fucking clotheslines him, and you think, what the fuck does happen there? But it's brutal. But like London turns up and Van Damme and him have a fight. And London ends up with a pipe in his head, and just to finish him off, he gets a shotgun up the pipe, and he's like, I had something to tell you. But before you get it, it's just, you're left with a sudden but we'll get back to the Universal Soldier in a minute. Because next up we've got Eagle's Path, which has never been released. I think it's another directing one. Kung Fu Panda 2.
Love Kung Fu Panda.
He's the crocodile in that. He actually turned down the role in number 3 of Rush Hour.
Yeah, did he?
Yeah. Bad guy. After that, we've got Assassination Games. That is him with Scott Adkins. So this is him and Scott Adkins. Now, the thing is,
He's done a family movie or anything, has he? Do you know, like Schwarzenegger and Stallone have done your family comedy type movies.
One. Yeah, he hasn't gone there yet, has he? But again, I think one thing about Van Damme was really cool that he embraced Scott Adkins. He didn't try to squish Scott Adkins. Scott Adkins is an amazing guy. He's such a nice guy, but he's a freak of fucking nature. I was sitting, hanging one day, right, on the set of Tournament. And I spent, I think it might have been the night, because when you hang out with JJ, you see the sun come up and you're going to go back to set. And I was there, and there's a bit of it on camera, and Scott walked in the set on his hands and front flipped onto his feet. And I shut you not, I nearly dropped my fucking coffee. Like, there was 2 people filming, and I was just like, fuck me. But then I turned around, and he had a hold of a pipe and he was parallel.
Ah, right, aye.
He's just a freak of nature, and like Van Damme could have squished him.
So what's his background like?
Just fan of Van Damme, martial arts.
Martial arts.
Trains well. You follow him on Instagram. He's very clever in his kicks and all that. But
so has he ever been like an actual fighter?
No, I don't.
Like
think so.
never just
not an actual fighter. But have you seen the Undisputeds when he fights in that?
Yeah.
It's fucking mint. But yeah, Assassination Games. The only thing I can remember briefly about Assassination Games, because it's like Van Damme versus Scott Atkins. But oh no, wait there, they've got a team up near the end. There's a guy, right, and he's clearly been told, look that way. Scott Atkins runs, right, and he just jumps. And the fucking height he gets for a double drop kick, right, and the guy just gets kicked straight off. It's just like flying through the air like that, and he just gets kicked perfectly. It's just like fucking hell. But again, made in Europe, packaged straight out. After that, we've got Bazing La Deville.
Bazing La Deville.
Rozvenki Povek Napoleon. You need to have a look at the front cover of that. Fuck my life, it's Van Damme's Napoleon.
So these must just be Belgian movies, aren't they?
Yeah. Now after that, we got Dragon Eyes, which is quite released a lot on Blu-ray. So he's just a mentor in prison.
So now he's dropped so far back. He's just basically doing little
stuff in Europe,
crappy stuff in Europe.
Not even leaving Europe. At this point, though, after this, he accepts to be in Expendables 2 after declining to be in the first one.
He should have done the first one, shouldn't he? I mean, Stallone offers you that.
Who would he have been? The problem with Expendables 1, right?
Stallone finds you a place, doesn't he?
But Expendables 1, right? Wesley Snipes couldn't do it because he went to prison, so they had to get Terry Crews, right? Fucking Expendables 1 does not have a good bad guy. Stone Cold Steve Austin's a great henchman. Eric Roberts, right? Eric Roberts, he's in Best of the Best. Yeah. Fair enough. He's in The Specialist, right? But he's not an antagonising threat.
No, definitely not. Not for a group of these calibre. Like, you need someone badass.
So when you do the second one and you've got Scott Atkins as a henchman of Van Damme, and Van Damme starts talking about fucking goats and stuff. But like, the fight at the end
with him
is what we wanted. Yeah, Stallone and him fighting. In Van Damme, Stallone gives all the credit to Van Damme for that. Going, right, this is the kind of fight it needs to be, and that's what we got with Expendables 2. I mean, we got, I think with the first one as well, the whole
Rocky
idea
versus Frank Dukes one, and that's what you wanted to see.
That's what you wanted. Well, like, you get the first one and you get the church scene with Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Stallone, and they're all like, he wants to be president. And like, hang on, right, fair enough, it's pretty cool to finally see them in one scene. But when you see the second one, and they're going through the fucking airport, and Bruce Willis and Schwarzenegger are in the car, and he's going, who's next, Rambo? And the fucking whole place is just getting like, that's what we fucking wanted. I mean, the film in Expendables 4 now.
But Jean-Claude Van Damme and that, just that swagger that he has, and the face he has, it was just, he's a brilliant bad guy. Like.
Oh, he's brilliant.
He definitely should have done more bad guy movies, because he proved in that he
still got it. But again, if you look at that, he's had a bit of really low point. Yeah. And next up,
I wonder if him and Steven Seagal should have ever done a movie together.
Oh, they've got a lot of fucking hate for each other.
That's it. But I think if you had to put them, I don't know, like I said, made Seagal the good guy, made Van Damme the bad guy. Early 90s could have been something great.
But going back to the whole thing about when they start just chucking people together, Van Damme wasn't like chucked in.
Then again, egos back then, they would have been like, there's no way I'm letting Seagal beat me, and vice versa.
That's it. That's the same thing. I mean, at the end of the day, the next one though is Universal Soldier: Day of Reckoning.
I don't know about this one either. I think he should have just stopped with the first one and just left this series alone. Like.
The Pitbull's back. He was definitely dead in the last one, right? But the Pitbull is not the star of it. He's just there.
Yeah.
The Dolph Lundgren's back again.
As what now?
Just Dolph Lundgren. Scott Atkins is in it.
In it again.
The movie starts on first person view with strobe effect. If you were epileptic, you would be fucked at the start of this movie because it's so flashy. Yeah. So Scott Atkins is the guy. There is an amazing fight scene in some of the fighting in this is amazing.
Yeah.
It's the same director.
So that's all it's been brought in as just a fight movie basically.
Van Damme is now the bad guy.
Is he?
Van Damme has gone batshit crazy. Van Damme shaves his head, paints himself half white and half black.
Braveheart type stuff. Freedom!
So So we get another fight with Scott Atkins in that. It's fucking mental. But again, when you see Scott in Van Damme fight, mint.
Who? Scott Atkins and who?
Van Damme.
Van Damme fight each other in it.
Well, they fight each other in.
So that'll be on YouTube. I would have thought just that.
Oh, I think they're fighting the shepherd and all sorts. Like,
no, I'll have a look. Like.
After that, we got Six Bullets, which I don't remember.
Never seen that.
And then we've got Alien Uprising, also known as UFO. One movie I haven't seen, but this is one movie where yada yada yada, yada yada yada, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. You probably put it on, he's in for 5 minutes. This is where we're going to fall.
He's just trying to get a bit of money now.
But I say that, the next one, Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the... which one?
Exactly, which one?
Because you've got The Rocks.
That's called The Rundown.
I've got it on DVD with Sean William Scott, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called Welcome to the Jungle. The one
it's
I've
called
got.
The Rundown in America.
And then now you've got Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. So what's this one?
But there's also a horror movie called Welcome to the Jungle.
Is there as well?
And then there's this one called Welcome to the Jungle.
What's this one?
This one, right, is about a group of people who work in the office who, as a team building thing, go to an island with Jean-Claude Van Damme for a training exercise, and they all get abandoned. So they start living on the island on their own, and Van Damme's fighting tigers. It's a comedy.
Surely he must have read the script for that and just thought, even I'm not stupid.
On the front cover.
Even I'm not stupid. He mustn't have been getting many offers to do that one.
Well, saying that, after that, there's a film called Enemies Closer, which, when you look at it, you go, looks like fucking Time Cop.
Yeah.
It's Van Damme's look, and then you go, oh, it's the same director as Time Cop. Hands down, would be in my top 5 Van Damme films.
Would it?
Fucking right, honestly.
What's it called?
Enemies Closer.
Enemies Closer.
Filmed in Bulgaria, right? Meant to be in the Canadian border, whatever. Orlando Jones is in it, who's from Evolution.
Yeah.
You've also got the guy who's in American Werewolf in Paris. Everyone seems to know MMA in this, right? Fucking Van Damme turns up as a fucking mountie wearing slippers with a mohawk and is obsessed with plants. And he plays a bad guy who's just lost his plot.
And it's in your top 5?
It's just fucking brilliant. It's fucking brilliant. I put it on Blu-ray if you want to borrow that. But the whole idea, like, Orlando Jones comes to kill this guy on the fucking thing because he killed his brother or whatever, and then Van Damme just happens to turn up, and it's like trying to get off the island. He's dressed as a fucking mountie, but his hair's just like fucking up there.
I'll have to watch that.
But again, director of Time Cop and sudden death. After that, Swelter. Right. Swelter is a brilliant story, and it's Anne Van Damme. And I tell you what, you know when someone plays the Anne character,
yeah,
and sort of have their moments and all that, he sits in the back burner of all this, and he's great in it. It's a really good film. It's not what you expect.
Just a small role in the background.
He's honestly right. There's a guy, and he has henchmen, and Van Damme's one of the henchmen.
Bloody hell.
He's got a little bit of backstory. We've missed a film.
What's that?
Desert Heat.
I haven't seen that one either.
Desert Heat comes around Wake of Death era, because it's the director of Rocky. It's called Inferno.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, it's the one where he's just banging loads of chicks in the desert. I don't know how that
Which is the one where he's banging a lass, and there's 2 of them.
Desert Heat?
Is that Desert Heat?
You come in, I've got room for you, and she's bouncing.
And then afterwards, just, how have you got so much stamina? I bet his head was just like, is that Desert Heat, is it?
That's how he's on the front cover on a motorbike like that.
Because he was just like, don't worry, you're next.
I don't know how we've lost that. Right, after that, we've got Pound of Flesh. There we go. That's the one where...
I've heard someone's been on about that to me before.
I think this is the one where he gets his legs stuck on the wing mirror and someone tries driving away and he does the splits. But it's all about like giving up his kidney to his daughter or something. It's not too bad, that one. After that, Jing Bing Man. No, yeah. But he returned for Kung Fu Panda 3 after that.
No, the Kung Fu Pandas are good. Like, it's only voice acting. Like.
Right, we're near the end of this because now we get another weird one. Kickboxing Vengeance.
I like it.
But
I thought it was good.
So we've had 3 or 4. I think, is there 4 kickboxers already?
Something like that.
Because it's an interesting fact, the guy who directed Prey of the Roller Boys directed Kickboxing.
But he's now the trainer, isn't he? Van Damme. And Kickboxer.
Is this a fucking remake? Because
it's a remake.
Tom Poe.
It's definitely a remake.
But then,
But it's not an identical remake.
but at the end, the guy dances like Van Damme and you show the footage from the original.
I do. It has to be. It has to be a remake.
But the thing is, as well, when they're trying to get out of prison, the guy's, hey, you haven't forgotten about me. That's Tom Poe. That's the real Tom Poe.
God knows, like. But if Batista's Tom Poe, it has to be a remake because it's Tom Poe.
But the other
Not unless he's Tom Poe's son.
the other Tom Poe's in prison.
God knows, like. But Batista is more menacing Tom Poe than Tom Poe. He's a fucking beast, isn't he?
Again, with Batista, he's working the field. He's doing that stuff in Europe. But
so he goes to train with Tom Poe in that little monastery thing, doesn't he, to try and get a fight.
Mussolini. He's quite a good fighter and all that.
And then he gets kicked out and then goes to train with Jean-Claude. And then goes back and fit.
But the subtitles turn up and they're feeling like it should be on Sesame Street.
It was a good movie, like I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Well, we'll get there. Then we've got
Tyson in that. Which one's?
Tyson's in the next one. We're not there yet. The next one, Kill Them All. Autumn Reese is in it from The Lost Boys.
Is he?
It's a girl.
Autumn Reese? Which one's that?
Autumn Reese. Have you never seen Smoking Aces?
No.
She's riding somebody.
So what, The Lost Boys?
Lost Boys 2.
Oh, 2. Right. Okay. The Emerson.
Yeah, but I can't remember it. Just she's in it.
That's the only movie I've seen in Lost Boys 2, I think, to be fair.
Well, we'll hear it. She's in Big Bang with Antonio Banderas, which is one of the colourful, most weirdest films ever. And she starts riding Antonio Banderas, talking about the cosmos. Anyway,
worth a watch then.
On Amazon Prime exclusive, which should be released, is Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
What's that?
Have you seen that? Right, so all this time, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme has been a spy. His real name is Johnson. He's been an actor, but a spy.
Aye.
And what happens when it all falls out?
So who's he spying on?
Just everyone.
Aye.
But you know what it is? He's got a twin called Philip, whose Philip's favourite film is...
Philip Van Johnson.
No. Philip's favourite film's Time Cop. There is fucking loads of references and innuendo with Van Damme.
Who wrote this then? Him?
I don't know.
Himself?
On Amazon Prime.
No.
No?
What's it called? Jean-Claude Van Johnson? I have to watch that. A secret spy since... What was his first one? The Kickboxer or something? He thought that was the best way...
The spy?
He thought that was the best way to get into the industry.
We'll have to watch the trailer for that after, But after that, he is back once again with the Dolph Lundgren.
Doing...
In a film called Blackwater, in a year where we saw 3 films called Blackwater. It's the biggest submarine you've ever seen. Not really. It's a small
just tiny.
Just the sets are huge. I think the set designers forget to say it's on a submarine.
So what's this one about? I haven't seen this one.
It's about a prison in a
prison in a submarine. Another prison. I'd probably enjoy it if it's a prison movie.
It's basically Escape Plan with Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren.
So it's a total rip-off.
After that, we've got Lucas, also known as the Bouncer. Also, honestly, God, the fucking DVD. This freaks me out, right? On the front cover of the DVD, you know, the slip cover.
Yeah.
It's Van Damme like that.
Like Jesus.
No, like a hoodie on, looking down, rain around him, right? Take the slip cover off, exactly the same pose with Van Damme's like that. He pulled it up, right? His fucking face changes. It's like, oh, that's scary.
So it's like a horror or something?
No, it's... He tries to be a bouncer and it doesn't work. But it's one really... It's just...
Like a Roadhouse rip-off?
Yeah, it's not what shout about. After that, We Die Young, which is a film I haven't seen, which was going to be the last one I've done that. And after that is his brand new movie, which I haven't seen yet, which is on Netflix, which is The Last Mercenary.
And who's that got in?
Don't know.
Just brand new, just released.
Just released on Netflix.
2021. Never even heard of it.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen it advertised. Usually you see them clip up, don't you? When you're on
the
Netflix.
Problem is, it's a foreign language movie.
I don't do many foreign language movies, to be fair. But do like maybe Train to Busan and stuff like that. It'll have to be like a top-notch foreign movie.
Troll! But no, looking back over, to wrap this up, looking back over it, I would have loved to see Van Damme and Demolition Man 2.
Oh,
I think
definitely.
I think Demolition Man had especially the cryo breakout, that had an opportunity there. I think Van Damme. I think it worked better for Van Damme in Expendables. I think he turned down a lot of roles, especially again when we tried to approach him for the tournament.
Yeah.
Again, though, you get to that era where your name is your value.
Yeah, I definitely.
But again, you can see where if you look at Kickboxer, it was shit. Kickboxer Retaliation, one with Mike Tyson, Christopher fucking Lambert. Van Damme's blind in it.
That's a great. I like that movie.
Like he turns up, he's blind.
Punching walls out and stuff is good.
I think the days have gone of him being an action star. I think
we see that's his problem now. Is he's always, like I was saying before, he's always done these action ones, and now he's over the hill, and he's never done the family movies. So he can't go into that genre now because people aren't going to think, oh, we'll get him.
He's done the Kung Fu Pandas, but that's just voicing it in.
It's like Mel Gibson. You can get him to do any kind of movie, can't you? Comedy, action, whatever. But Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Since Mel Gibson turned over the road and started shouting profanities at everyone, everyone doesn't want to touch him.
You'll still always go back to Mel.
But again, he's a Academy Award-winning director. But again, he's just look at the stuff he's done. You know what I mean?
So is he directed or is he Van Damme?
He's only done The Quest. I think he did that Eagle's Path, which is never been released.
He's never written a movie, I don't think, has he?
No, he's been. I think he gets writing credit on a lot of his stuff for story.
So like he obviously has his own input and stuff like.
But again, like he does. I don't know how much he was when you meet him. You could turn up at Comic Cons and £150 a signature. You're not going to question him. Matt's got I think it's Bloodsport poster signed by him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like,
so judged on that, would you say he's the best martial artist, movie maker, or do you put someone above him? Because for his early stuff, like he's the head of Steven Seagal.
I think Jackie Chan is probably one of the best martial artists because of how fucking dangerous he is.
And Jackie Chan's had some class movies, like.
But I think, but again, it's like Van Damme was like, he's like he became the king of DVD. He's always kept the household name. But if you were looking for a resurgence, he just needs to be in a big movie. But he needs to take that step back. Do you know what I mean?
But he got where he was just because he was a good-looking bloke who could kick that high and do the splits, basically, wasn't it?
So this has been the first one. I think we might have to have a few trailers in the outtakes, but hopefully we'll do. Who would you say would be others like this? I would say Stallone,
Schwarzenegger.
If you say Steven Seagal,
I'm not doing a Steven Seagal. I couldn't do. Steven Seagal I've only really like. I'll get Under Siege, and Nico, and a couple of others. But apart from that, I'm like, he got to that point where he put loads of weight on. Had some weird, very black.
Released the country album.
And he went so bad. I definitely wouldn't want to do a Seagal.
Wesley Snipes would be a good one as well.
Aye.
But right, so this has been the discussion about Jean-Claude Van Damme. I don't think Mark expected me sitting there that long the dog's asleep.
He was attacking us when I first came in. Next time we'll have milk and coffee.
Sorry. Right, I'll see you in the outtakes.
Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling? Now who's smiling?
Worst Van Damme movies of all time. Number 4. Peace!
Just a quick outtake in the discussion for Jean-Claude Van Damme. There you go, Mark, give us that, but it wasn't mentioned in the video. But cheers, Mark. Thanks very much, mate. Next bit of the video.
Top 5 worst Van Damme movies.
That's classy.
Another quick outtake. Yeah, didn't believe it, I was watching it. It's actually AWOL, Lionheart. It also says AKA Lionheart, Death Warrant in Black Eagle. Well, there we go. Still haven't seen the new Van Damme film yet, but yeah, shadow on my face. Goodbye for now.
Top 5 worst Van Damme movies. Number 2.
That's the gay karate guy.
Top 5 worst Van Damme movies. Number 3.
You killed my partner. That's all you're going to get out of me. Right, thank you very much. This is the very end of the now called Better Than Person discussion. Van Damme movies. I wrote that on my notes. Better Than Person. Because that's what it is. It's really cool to sit down with Mark. I don't think me and Mark planned to sit down for an hour and a half. That long. Well, obviously the camera kicked in its second wave. That's why the gremlins appear halfway through. And obviously I've pulled Mark's footage out of the archive of his Van Damme, so being able to do the splits. I mean, look at me running around the house trying to get ready for this. That's as much as you're going to get out of me. My action stands Streets of Rage style whack. But yeah, Mark's a lot fitter than I am for being 40 years older than us. So anyway, this is the very end. As I've just pulled Mark's stuff out there, chucked in the outtakes. Me and Mark are watching trailers for Jean-Claude Van Johnson and The Gay Karate Man. As I say, I've had a great time doing this. Definitely going to do salons and stuff like that down the line. But I've just dug out my lists. So the original idea was to do 5 good and 5 bad Van Damme movies and sit down. Over lockdown, this was a lockdown idea. So Jambo Shango is from all the way down south. Meet him at horror cons and stuff like that. But he works weird shifts. I remember the last time I caught up with him and Ralph. We were talking and he was on about, oh yeah, I've been in New Zealand. And he went to New Zealand for a day. That was his job. Drove all the way. Imagine driving New Zealand in a day. That's not going to happen. Flew all the way to New Zealand for a meeting, then went back. And you see that guy in the news the other day when they were opening the airports, go, oh yeah, you know, Zoom. And he's going, no, but it's still better than meeting in person. Like, nah. Well, do you want to go to New Zealand for the day? I'll go on Zoom in 5 minutes. Zoom in 5 minutes every time. So hopefully Jambo Shango's okay. So here are my top 5 worst Van Damme movies. Number 5 being, like, you know, number 5. Number 1 being the worst. Knockoff. That whole scene. That's when it cuts off and the gremlins, like, I'm about to say, oh, the big butter on the hill, which I've been to, and then fucking green smoke, like, gooned. Number 4, the replicant with the torch and the Van Damme clone. Number 3, Blackwater, because there's a few films called Blackwater. Number 2, Universal Soldier, Day of Reckoning. It's just ludicrous. And at number 1, it's still going to be Derailed. Because, like, fuck my life. But again, give credit to Derailed. It's spawned it's just a podcast series, which has been going very well over the last couple of years. So the top 5, it's got Think About It in brackets red pen. So I had to change it, and I had to change it because it's got Time Cop next to it. So Time Cop is not in the top 5. It's been axed for Enemies Closer, because I mentioned Enemies Closer before. So there you go, Enemies Closer there. So in number 5 is Enemies Closer. Then is number 4 is Death Warrant. In at number Number 4 is Hard Target. Number 3 is Death Warrant. Number 2 is Expendables 2. And my number 1 best Van Damme movie, this is the very end of the movie, is Bloodsport. This is childhood thing, you know, Kumite thing. I think the soundtrack's coming out from Mondo or Waxworks, I think. But yeah, awesome movie. Right, start of a new kind of series with the Better in Person discussion rants. Thanks for watching this. Subscribe, not just to Lonely Tree, but also for the love of movies. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.